Olivia Rodrigo tells British Vogue that she's a long way from marriage. What am I, a child bride? I hope that young girls know that life is full of so much joy that is unrelated to husbands or kids. This is her. I want to be a mom more than anything. But then you also have a really clear example when you put it all together of a woman who's very, very confused, and that's because of Western feminism. The pop star, Olivia Rodrigo, she's this kind of, I guess, feminist icon. So is she a hero for the feminist movement, or is she a hero for the pro-natalist movement? And this is also sort of exhibit 554Z in clickbait. It depends who you ask. So on March 19th, this quote from Rodrigo, it was all over social media. Olivia Rodrigo tells British Vogue that she's a long way from marriage. What am I, a child bride? I hope that young girls know that life is full of so much joy that is unrelated to husbands or kids. Okay, I'll go back to that. But then the Wednesday after that, another quote started gaining traction on the other side of the political spectrum. This is her. I want to be a mom more than anything. I already feel like I've done a lot in my career that I've wanted to do and feel more mature for my age than maybe I should. I'm definitely a lover girl. Like, I want to be in something committed and so in love. Here's the thing. These two quotes come from the exact same paragraph of the exact same interview.
Jeez. You have no idea.
So yes, you have a problem with clickbait because people just turn these people / icons into whoever they want them to be. But then you also have a really clear example when you put it all together of a woman who's very, very confused, and that's because of Western feminism. So here's the full quote from Vogue. Is she beginning to think about the family she would start? Maybe marriage, like she sings in So American. Oh my gosh, long way from that for sure. She quotes Broad City. What am I, a child bride? She laughs. I hope that young girls know that life is full of so much joy that is unrelated to a husband or kids. But that being said, I want to be a mom more than anything. I already feel like I've done a lot in my career that I've wanted to do and feel more mature for my age than maybe I should, so I don't know. Let's kind of break this down. I hope that young girls know that life is full of so much joy that is unrelated to a husband or kids. Let me just give you my opinion on that. No, it's not. It's not. It really isn't. And particularly not for women, their biological instinct. You could say maybe for men, winning a war, conquering, taking risks, because that's a big part of what makes us who we are, since we're designed to provide and protect. But for women, there is not so much joy unrelated to a husband or kids. There can be some fleeting happiness. There can be pleasure. It's not the same as joy. Joy means fulfillment. Joy means happiness in tandem with meaning. You can find happiness, you can find fleeting pleasure in, making some good money, going to get your nails done. But at the end of your life, you look back, and anyone who has had a family, they don't look back and say, you know what? My family, my summers on the lake with my 2 kids, my kids curled up in my lap, chocolate milk in family moments, bath time. They don't go, yeah, I'd put it about on par with getting my eyebrows threaded. I'd put it about on par with, my career.
Yeah. Going on speed dates.
Right.
Yeah.
Coaching my son at Little League is almost as good as going to a baseball game.
Right. Exactly right. Now, you may have more fun going to a baseball game. You may have more pleasure in that moment, but it's not going to bring you more joy long term. So this is a woman who is conflicted and confused. And by the way, that makes sense because she is echoing what she hears ad nauseum by elite feminists in power.
There is nothing better than being in your 30s, still being hot, maybe having a little bit of your own money, figuring out what you want to do with your life, everything, and having tried that married fantasy and realizing that it's maybe not all it's cracked up to be, and then you've got your whole life still ahead of you.
The vibrator is good, and I'm having the kind of sex I never had in my 20s or in my 30s.
Love.
Yes, and so that part has been really exciting. But I'm not missing a relationship. I'm not missing the partnership that I think people think you miss when you're
Because you're a terrible person.
I never believed the whole I'm happy single spiel. I was like, this is spiel.
Yeah.
This is totally
Isn't
spiel.
it interesting, the stuff that we take
I
in and then have to
know.
unpack?
It took me a long time, but I'm very happy. I call it being self-partnered.
Right.
I've tried my very
She's
best
now
to live
engaged
a
to a
life of
billionaire.
my own making, and not just a series of events that happened to me, but one that I could stand back and look at and recognize my handwriting all over, sometimes messy and scrawling, sometimes careful and precise, but one that I had carved with my own hand, and I wouldn't have been able to do this without employing a woman's right to choose.
So you'll see that from the elites. Let me ask you, what's their divorce rate like compared to much higher? Matter of fact, it's pretty much 100% for first-time marriages in Hollywood, statistically. What's their drug addiction rate? Oh, that's right, off the charts in the entertainment industry. Okay. What are their depression rates? SSRI use, oh, that's right, off the charts. How often do you watch a documentary on some rock star or some famous actress and you just realize how sad it is? Now, let me ask you this. How often do you know somebody who is sad, who is depressed, who wants to show the whole world that they're not? It's almost all of them.
That lady, just to encapsulate what she said, I'm standing here holding this $150 trophy only because I got to kill my child. That's the swap that was made in front of a room of people that she doesn't care about their opinions. Nobody really wants to be there. These people don't love each other. They're competing with each other. They don't really care. Most of us have tuned out from this. And the crowning achievement of your career, stand there, smile, take some pictures, and then go home and feel empty because now what's next? Well, just remember, every time you see that on the mantle, there could have been a child. It could have been a picture of you holding that child. But instead, you've got the golden trophy, so congratulations. I guess you win.
Well, this is, yes, and this is something, too, we see a lot. If a woman has a friend who's divorced, their chances themselves of getting divorced goes up significantly. And it goes up proportionally with each friend who is divorced. And this is something you see quite a bit. Women, if they are unhappy, they genuinely want to be joined in misery, and they will give bad advice so that someone makes the same mistakes. You see it all the time. Look, let me be really clear. If you follow the advice of those in the leftist media, entertainment, big tech, industrial complex, women, you will live an unfulfilled, unhappy life, and you will die with many regrets. I know the message that people are bombarded is like, oh, say goodbye to your freedom when you have kids. Nope. I know the message is, oh my gosh, it's the hardest thing. Nope. It is difficult. It's not the hardest thing. Oh my gosh, I just wish I could go back to being single. And what? Would you trade all those special moments for a few nights out at the bar or a couple of extra vacations? What, to travel? It's a complete warp. So I get it. I get why women in Islam, even though they'll get the crap beaten out of them for wearing a burqa, they say, well, I'm better off with this than that. There is a different way. It's how we did it for a very long time in this country, understanding that men and women are different and that we need to build society around a nuclear family that is ideal for rearing children, and impressing upon people that that is what gives your life meaning, and that is what brings you joy. The next part of the quote. That being said, I want to be a mom more than anything. Yes, that is innate. It is your biology. And it's a spiritual truth reflected in biology that we hold to be self-evident. You have been guilted out of that. But you've been so gaslit that hearing a white male say it, you think that I'm trying to guilt you into that like a Handmaid's Tale where we want to breed you, like it's the end of Bone Tomahawk. No. This is what all women wanted since the beginning of time, and my point is it's okay, and it will be more meaningful and more fulfilling. And by the way, this was actually echoed by this year's Best Actress winner, Jessie Buckley.
You, Fred, I love you, man. I love you. You're the most incredible dad. You're my best friend, and I want to have 20,000 more babies with you. I do. I do. And Isla, my little girl who is 8 months, who has absolutely no idea what's going on and is probably dreaming of milk. But this is kind of a big deal. And I love you and I love being your mom and I can't wait to discover life beside you.
Can someone give me, how old is Olivia Rodrigo, by the way?
I think she's around late 20s.
Late 20s.
But yeah, somebody should probably check it.
And she was quoting that show Broads
Broad City,
Or
it's
Broad
a
City.
sketch comedy show.
I was thinking of Girls, right?
23.
Yeah.
23? Oh, okay, I was a little off.
The opposite.
It's like, what am I, a child bride? Then I feel like I've already done a lot in my career that I've wanted to do and feel more mature than my age. So maybe I should, meaning start a family. So I don't know. Think of how warped that is. 23, and this is something too you'll see from a lot of angry middle-aged feminists. 23 is by no means a child bride.
No.
You're 13 years off.
Yeah. 18 is by no means a child bride, to be clear. That's historically was the norm. We now have something called second adolescence, where people think you have to go to college, 4 years of glorified alcoholism, of pair bonding with people who will never mean anything to you in your future life. Well, the median age of marriage in 1950 was 22 years old for men, 20 for women. Now, it's 30 and 28 respectively.
So some things are the same. There's a 2-year difference usually.
Yeah, men are usually a little bit older. The overall age has just gone up by nearly a decade. The median age where women had their first child in 1950, it was 21 was the median age. Now it's 27.
Jeez, that's massive.
Now, when people say child bride, what's funny is they'll try and tell you, society, man, it's just, you break away from society. The leftists, they'll tell you that, right? Well, hold on a second. This is entirely social engineering. If people think that 23 is a child bride, and you go, wait, historically, before this modern feminist social engineering, people had their first child at 20. And before that, they would have had them in their teens. And now you, for some reason, think that 23 is a child bride. That means it's not in line with the historical norm. That means it's not in line with biology. It's in line with the social engineering. Keep in mind, the most fertile years for women are in their 20s. Right? 90% chance of fertility. At 35, there's a 60% chance. At 40, it goes to under 20%. The odds of complications increase dramatically with the age of the mother. Let's use Down syndrome as an example. At age 25, it's 1 in 1,250. At age 35, it's 1 in 400. At age 40, it's 1 in 100.
Wow.
The miscarriage chance. At 25, 1 in 10. 35, 1 in 5. 40, 1 in 3. By the way, it's even lower if you go lower than 25. These were the only numbers we could find. The most fertile years are those years between 18 and I think it's honest. I've seen charts 23, 24, and it starts to crest. Doesn't mean that you're an old maid at 25 or 26. What I'm saying is that people historically, just like people before they had watches, they'd get up with the sun, they'd go down with the sun, right? Your circadian rhythm was determined by exactly what you saw. People before the new social engineering, they inherently knew these are the most fertile years. They were getting married in their late teens, early 20s, starting to have their children. The only reason that you are doing that later is because you have been lied to. Foundation Daily. All the daily vitamins and minerals you need, check. Clinical ingredients, check. At their clinically effective doses, check. And lab tested, so you know that what's on the label is exactly what you're getting. Foundation, fill in the gaps. Fill in the gaps that you might be missing. Go to foundationdaily.com today. Subscribe and save 40% for life. Help! Help!
And having more children too, by the way. You may go like, oh, that's only a 7-year difference. Yeah, that's at least 2 children that you can't have.
Right.
Even if you wanted them, most likely it'll be much more difficult because you'll be much later on in life and the chances of that happening go down.
Yeah.
As we just saw.
Yes.
What was that quote? Do the hard things in the morning.
Yeah, from Marcus Aurelius. He said, it wasn't but he said, do the highest intensity activities in the morning so that later in the, because you're less likely to do them if you do them later in the day.
Same thing with parenting, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Catherine and we had kids not super young, but 21 and 23.
Yeah.
It's not super young, but and we have an older one now, but it's going to be nice. Daughter's going to graduate high school. I'm still going to be in my 40. I'll be 40.
I'll be 70.
Be nice.
Well,
yeah, you'll be an old maid.
Well, what's funny to me is everyone's like, let's get back to let's eat like our ancestors. Even though your ancestors, depending on geography, depending on climate, they ate differently. It's, hey, look at all of these xenoestrogens in the body right now. These endocrine disruptors. Let's drink out of glass bottles. Let's touch grass. Let's get earthing mats. Okay. But feminism has told you to do the opposite of what is biologically really clear. And I'll hear people go like, that's just someone from the manosphere. Okay, let's just compare manosphere versus feminism. And I'm not talking about the red pill people who say go sleep with a bunch of bitches and look smacks. I'm talking about people who are more traditional Christians who are telling you that you probably should focus on complementarian roles and having a family. Let's just take feminism and manosphere for shorthand. Okay. You may think that they're villains, but the manosphere is trying to tell women that it's okay to acknowledge and work within your biology. The other side, feminism, is telling you to ignore it and to work against it. Everything in your body, your hormones, your neurotransmitters, when you are a woman in your early 20s, it's telling, like, hey, you want to find a guy. It's okay. Hey, you want to have kids. It's okay. That's when you're most likely to achieve that. Feminism is saying get in the workforce. If you have to have kids, get a nanny. Your career will be just as rewarding. One is telling you to work with it. Just consider it the paleo diet for marriage and sex. Doing what your ancestors did. And if you approach it too, here's the thing. Now it is complicated. The old way of doing things isn't always necessarily the best. I love having running water. I love having electricity. I love having a deep freezer so I can have my meat and I can thaw it. I love that. I love that modern technology. But yeah, sometimes it does get you a little bit far off the beam. If you approach it and go, all right, this is how people used to do it. Nannies, that wasn't even something that was considered for most families, meaning a full-time nanny because a woman had to work. It was, all right, are we right? Are we picking each other? Are we making a covenant? Okay, great. Man, go out, kill, hunt, bring back, provide, protect. And I'm going to get to do what my body is screaming at me to do, have children and take care of them. Both were approached like a job. And both were given the same accountability as a job. And neither one bitched. That's the way it should be. That's okay. But it feels like a rude awakening if you've been told to go to college, 4 years of glorified alcoholism, get a useless degree, pay off your debt, be a boss babe. And then in your 30s or late 20s, maybe think about settling down and finding somebody. It's ass backwards. And so when I read this from Olivia Rodrigo, first off, the clickbait bothers me, but it's very sad. A lot of young women are confused. If you were to hook women up to a polygraph, do you think that you would like to have kids? Would you like to get married? Guarantee you everyone, almost everyone, I'd wager 90% yes. Would you rather do that or work as a shift manager? But this is the social engineering in the face of biology.
I think of a lot of stuff, man. Like I want to be a grandparent, like for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I look at my grandparents and where my parents are, my kids. Like I want a long time with my grandkids.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to meet great grandkids. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I don't need it, but I'd like to spend some time with them. I'd like to see them make it to high school.
I mean, just a little thing. Just think of, I don't know, when you were a kid, it was like Christmas. It was like magical and all this, right? You couldn't wait. You could barely go to sleep. And then you get older and you like it. You spend time with family, but a little bit of that spark is gone. It's right back.
I can't imagine.
When you have kids, just think about it. You're like, it feels like you're like, oh my God, are they asleep? Can you tell?
Imagine it. Christmas morning, what are you doing without the kids?
Right. I know exactly what it's like.
In mid to late 30s, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Now you got to come up with a plan. Now you got a girlfriend, you got a wife. Now you got to go, oh, I have to plan something. Oh, we have to do something. We don't have kids. Shit, what are we going to do? Everyone's closed.
Yeah.
We got to make plans for this. We got to make plans for every day. You got to do something different.
Yep.
Or you could just you have kids around and every day you are doing something different. You didn't even plan it. One day you're
for you.
yeah. One day you're saving a toad from the backyard. You don't know why you're saving a toad because they're poisonous on the back, and you don't want to save it because you know you're going to save it. It's going to come right back to your backyard. It's going to be right there. It's going to poison your dog. You know it. It's happened once before. But then the next day you're like, hey, take your hand off your penis. Why are you touching it all the time? And then you have to spend 3 hours on that.
Right.
It's fun.
Well, that was you, Josh. So that was your wife yelling at you.
It's fun.
But just think about really like Christmas or learning to ride a bike or your first Power Wheels. Like you would trade that for a beach weekend at Turks and Caicos. No. Like that's a big thing to women. Go, I want to travel. I want someone who wants to travel. And they act like you're boring if you don't. You do realize who didn't get to travel all the time? Like everyone since the history of ever until quite recently. It's fine to do it.
Best travel movies? Best travel movies are road trip movies with kids.
Yep.
Or stuff like Home Alone.
Yeah.
Best travel movies, got kids involved.
And they
you
find
can travel with your
out
kids.
that their vacation was at home all alone.
Stop it.
No,
can't
but
be a
all those
Hallmark
things, it's
movie.
like, you want to compare that? It's
No.
not. I find myself too after I
Only
have
if you
kids.
buy the lie. That's the only
Yeah.
way that you can do this. The only way that you can look at that and go, yeah, that's going to be a better life trajectory for me is if you just buy into this lie.
Yeah.
And women used to not tell that lie to each other. They also used to not tell it to the next generation.
Right.
They used to go, hey, trust me, have kids. You're going to love it. Find a good man. Have children. So deeply into them. Soak up every sweet moment of them wanting to cuddle with you because one day it'll stop. Of putting you to bed or putting them to bed because one day that will stop. And you just go down the list.
Yeah.
And it makes life worth living in a way that you never even knew.
There's that old saying, you never know the last time you're going to pick up your kid.
Yeah.
Right.
I think about that a lot.
Yeah.
I thought about it.
Yeah, mine are heavy.
Yeah. A few
He was
weeks
holding
ago,
a rock to kill me with.
A few weeks ago, I saw a video, on Instagram or whatever, and the caption was, "This guy really just picked up his entire world." And it was a guy. He had his wife in his hands, and then like 2 or 3 kids came and hopped on, and he was squatting. He was holding his whole family up, and I was like, "Oh man." I got inspired, so I went into the living room. My wife and daughter were there, and I picked him up, and then I think I pulled my calf, but I picked them both up. My daughter's 11; she's like 5'5", and
She's tall.
I can't pick her up, but I was able to do it that day. But just for
picking up
just be
noodles.
funny. But yeah, I know.
But even then, even before I know, look, no, not everyone can have kids, and sometimes, by the way,
Right.
you end up being a great step parent. But again, that's because you still have the beam. If you're like, oh, okay, well, we can't have kids. You still start with, all right, you want to find someone who you'd want to have kids with, and that person is meaningful to you too. Before the epidemic of divorce that exists now, couples would be a lot happier if you still had those very clear roles, because you know what? He'd be really happy to come home to you. Usually, now you have a couple, it's like we're married, but he comes home to an empty house. He comes home to an empty house, and you come home, and then someone else is cooking or delivering the food. You're really just sharing a couch. Even before kids, the idea used to be that men and women built lives together. And that, if you've ever actually accomplished a task with a close friend or your spouse, you know that that is a huge part of bonding, is going out, taking and building something together, building a life together. And even better, if you guys can have kids, raise kids, but to act like everything else is just as fulfilling, I mean, it's not. And it's so funny because Hollywood always tries to make it seem like the dad is a Harry Chapin song and he's out doing work and he's missing all the stuff that really matters. Well, he's making sure that you guys can have the stuff that really matters. But this same group of people where the dad is always the business tycoon prick wants to tell young women to go be a boss babe. If it's a dad, it's a Harry Chapin song. If it's a woman who's never home and as a child care provider, oh my God, she's beautiful and brave. And what happens? The relationship collapses. Broken families, and it's permeated everything. You don't need to feel bad for acknowledging your biology. You shouldn't be angry at your biology. You should be angry at the people who tell you to ignore it. And that's the kind of change that I think we really need to see. I know we probably, if there's something else, but we'll grab a couple chats and then go, because I know we've gotten...
Yeah, they were just 2 real quick charts. So one I'm going to give you is that, fortunately, divorce rates are coming down a little. You can see that giant spike when feminism really kicked off. But in light of this next one, which shows that marriage rates are really, really low.
Wow.
So that's one of the contributing, factors to it.
I have a comedian friend. He got married around the same time I did, and grew up Christian, grew up in the church, pastor and stuff like that. And he made a joke that people that are still married in 40 years are they going to be treated like it's an old classic car?
Yeah.
Like, oh dang, look at them.
Yeah.
Is that a 2012 wedding? Wow, still running, huh?
Right.
That's impressive. Wow. How many miles? Wow.
I was just watching this show, Something Very Bad Will Happen. It was great, the first few episodes, and then it becomes some feminist bullshit. But then it's like, there's a scene where they decide they don't want to get married because they find out their parents' marriage wasn't as nice as they thought. They're like, I don't want to do this. I want to choose every day to be with you because every day we choose each other and it's worth it. And not every day is going to feel that way and going to be worth it. And they act like that's more romantic than a covenant and a commitment that you are going to choose each other no matter how you feel.
Just because your parents' relationship or marriage wasn't as good doesn't mean in yours is going to be the same way. Just because it's marriage, you got to look at how their marriage worked out. My parents didn't work out. They got married because they got pregnant with me. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be a one-night thing. Got pregnant. Whoops. Let's do this family thing, I guess.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out. So when I decided to get married, I was like, oh, it's not going to be a girl. I'm not going to knock up a girl.
Right.
And then marry her.
Yeah.
I'm going to be careful.
And I get it. There are problems too with the modern institution of marriage, but
I would have liked to wait a little longer too. I'm not going to lie. But you know what? You want to eat the turkey leg. You can't wait till the end of the meal. You got to grab that turkey leg.
Wow.
Or someone else is going to snatch it up and then their mouth's going to be all over it.
I don't fully understand the analogy, but I do understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It's my mouth only.
Treat women like a turkey leg.
I love you, babe. You're my turkey leg.
You are my turkey leg.
I'm romantic, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of a funny juxtaposition. I find that, I don't know if it's accurate for everyone, but for me, my wife, it was something where my parents were divorced as well. I found that because of that, I really wanted to have a committed relationship that worked, so I was going to go the extra mile to make that happen. My wife's parents stayed together, and I feel like women whose parents stay together tend to see that as what they want to strive for as well.
Yeah.
So it is a weird kind of juxtaposition there.
Yeah. Well, I think it's part of male nature to want to right wrongs, to want to correct it and improve upon it. That's how we build civilizations. That's how technology comes about. It's taking an existing element and adding to it. Whereas the female nature is to maintain it, to maintain a house, to maintain a family, right? It's not necessarily to add to it and change it. It's to make sure that there's some stability. Oh, you're still here watching this on YouTube? There's no more. It's over. Just like YouTube. YouTube is over. It's not a thing anymore. How many Seth Meyers clips do you need? Head on over to Rumble. Follow me there. Live on weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, where we can actually speak freely and don't have to self-censor. YouTube it's really not a thing. Like, you ever seen one of those towns that maybe was like a mining town, or maybe they made some kind of alloy? You say, hey, I wonder what they did in this town. It takes a while to find a person who can tell you what they did in that town, and even then you don't fully understand it. That's YouTube. YouTube is that town. So go to Rumble.